It has been far too long since IndyCar has made the journey to the Valley of the Sun and this 1 mile bull ring in Phoenix, Arizona, as today the double in the desert gets started. What a tremendous weekend for race fans. And in Phoenix, Arizona, the weekend all gets started here with the second race of the 2026 NTT IndyCar Series season. It is the Good Ranchers 250 from the Phoenix Raceway in Arizona. Hello, one and all. I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to Phoenix. Thanks for having us in for the race, as we are so excited here on the Ultimate Sports Team, and of course we'll be joined by those at JB Motorsports as well for the call of this very exciting race. We're very excited for it. We've been excited for it ever since it was announced that IndyCar was coming back to Phoenix. They are here for the first time since 2018, and there are so many storylines coming into round two of the season. Of course, the season started last weekend in western Florida in St. Petersburg, and in the streets it was Alex Palou once again scoring the victory. The winner of 4 of the last 5 IndyCar championships opened up the season with a dominating win in the streets of St. Pete. But it's a totally different story here this weekend. We go from that very tight and technical 1.8 mile street circuit now to that course that you see on your screen now. This is what we call a bull ring, a tight, flat, short 1 mile oval. It's as unique of an oval as you can get as well. D-shaped with a dog leg, different varying degrees of banking in each set of corners, and the straightaways are nothing alike either. So yes, this is going to be a totally different challenge for the drivers of the IndyCar grid. Of course, we haven't run at Phoenix in the IndyCars very much, very often, very recently. In fact, only 3 times in the last 20 years has IndyCar run here at Phoenix. Scott Dixon was the winner in 2016, Simon Pagenaud won the next year, and Joseph Newgarden was the 2018 winner in Phoenix. So there's only 2 prior winners at this racetrack on the grid here this afternoon. Qualifying yesterday, that was a show. It was as chaotic as you might have expected, but a very expected front row. David Malukas, who has made so much noise on the ovals, particularly these short ovals, the past number of years. Now in his first year with Team Penske, he has won a pole for the first time in his career. And his teammate Joseph Newgarden, who just over half of his 32 career wins have come on ovals like this, is with him on the front row. One of the major storylines of the weekend has also been the drivers in this field, the rookie drivers that will be making their oval debuts. And although it wasn't a great oval debut for Dennis Hauger or Caio Collet in qualifying yesterday, it was a dazzling debut on the ovals for Mick Schumacher, who qualified 4th fastest. In fact, Rahal Letterman-Lanigan Racing as a whole has really seemed to start turning around their oval program. They have struggled on these short ovals for quite a long time. They've shown great speed this weekend and could be a threat with the likes of Schumacher and Graham Rahal, who also has a good starting position for himself. Scott McLaughlin, who won the pole last week and ran so well but bowed out in the middle to finishing portions of the race to Alex Palou. He'll be a threat today. Of course, he has 2 oval wins in his career as well. So it's going to be a fantastic day here in Phoenix. It's certainly going to be a fantastic weekend as IndyCar gets it all started on this IndyCar NASCAR double in the desert weekend. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series runs here later tonight. The Cup Series is here tomorrow. We'll have that race here on the channel and, of course, on JB Motorsports as well. Qualifying for the Cup race has just wrapped up within the last hour or so. Joey Logano winning the pole for that race, so it is Team Penske on pole here in Phoenix for both IndyCar and the NASCAR Cup Series race. So just about set to go, only about 10 minutes or so away from green flag time here in Phoenix, Arizona. The Good Ranchers 250, of course, a part of this magnificent start to the IndyCar Series season. 3 races in the first 3 weeks, back to back to back. St. Petersburg, of course, which is a street course that we've been running on for just about a quarter of a century. Phoenix, where we haven't run on in 8 years, a short oval. And then next weekend we go to a brand new racetrack, an inaugural event in the streets of Arlington, Texas. That's next Sunday. Before, of course, we get in to the grind of the season and make our way towards the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. Alex Palou, the winner last week in St. Petersburg, comes into Phoenix with an 11-point lead in the championship over Scott McLaughlin. Christian Lundgaard, who ended up on the podium last week as well, who has struggled at times, in fact, most of his career on these ovals, he comes in third in the championship ahead of Kyle Kirkwood and Pato O'Ward. Joseph Newgarden comes in 7th in the championship standings. David Malukas is 13th. Alexander Rossi 16th, and Will Power, who of course had a nightmare weekend in his debut for Andretti, will be 22nd in the championship standings coming in, and his luck hasn't changed very much from St. Petersburg, Florida to Phoenix, Arizona either. He hit the wall hard, did Power, in a qualifying crash here yesterday. He will start last on the grid, which is going to make it a very difficult 250-lap, 255-mile race for Will Power, who does have past experience here in Phoenix. Open wheel racing started here in Phoenix all the way back in 1964. Around this time of the year, March 22nd of 1964, was the first USAC race at Phoenix. That was won by A.J. Foyt. For a number of years, they ran 2 races in Phoenix per year. Foyt winning that first one in 1964. The second race in that year at Phoenix was won by Lloyd Ruby, driving for Bill Forbes' team. And at Offenhauser, that was a 200-lap race. This one will be 250 here today. But many of the greats of open-wheel racing have run and won here at this racetrack. Foyt won here many times. Mario Andretti, in fact, won here multiple times, including in a thrilling race in 1993, which broke a 5-year winless drought for Mario. Likes of Rick Mears, Ari Lyondike, Bobby Rahal, Emerson Fittipaldi, Tony Kanaan, Sam Hornish Jr., and Helio Castroneves all have prior IndyCar victories here in Phoenix. Continuing to close in on the command to fire the engines for race 2 of the IndyCar Series season. Qualifying was here yesterday, and it was sketchy for some, but it was super fast, the fastest racing on Earth, coming to this tight and flat 1-mile oval. This is how they qualified, and this is a look at the starting grid for race 2 of the IndyCar season. Here's the starting grid for race 2 of the year, the Good Ranchers 250. On the pole for the first time in his career is David Malukas in just his second start with Team Penske, alongside teammate Joseph Newgarden. 17 of his 32 career wins have come on ovals. In row 2, it's Graham Rahal on that 143-race winless drought, and Mick Schumacher making his oval debut after a stunning qualifying result. In row 3, Scott McLaughlin. His last 2 wins came on short ovals in Iowa and Milwaukee, and Alexander Rossi, whose 2016 Indy 500 upset was his lone oval win. Pato O'Ward is in row 4, 5 top 5s and 6 oval races last year, along with Rinus VeeKay. His only oval top 10 last season came at Gateway. Row 5, Nolan Siegel coming off a miserable St. Petersburg weekend, and Alex Palou going for consecutive wins for the 3rd time in his career. In row 6, it's Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida, and Stingray Robb from Boise, Idaho. In row 7, New Zealand's Marcus Armstrong and Sweden's Marcus Ericsson. From 15th, it's Scott Dixon, who has 24 career oval wins, including at Phoenix in 2016, and Louis Foster, who struggled on ovals as a rookie last year, an average finish of 17th. Christian Lundgaard, 3rd last week, starts 17th today, alongside last year's Milwaukee winner Christian Rasmussen. Kiffin Simpson's in row 10 with Romain Grosjean, who has 4 career oval top 10s. Santino Ferrucci leads off row 11 with Dennis Hauger, who gets his first taste of oval racing in IndyCar. Same can be said for fellow rookie Caio Collet from Brazil, and Felix Rosenqvist starts in row 12 after a practice crash. And last on the grid, Will Power, who crashed in qualifying yesterday. So that's the starting field for this 250-lap race. You see there 255 miles, just over 400 kilometers. The race record was set here in the most recent IndyCar race at Phoenix by Joseph Newgarden at an average speed of just over 147 miles per hour. Closing in on start time here in Phoenix, Arizona. In fact, just outside of Phoenix in Avondale, which for a number of years, ever since 2020, has hosted championship weekend for NASCAR. That has changed, of course, this year, but NASCAR is still coming here twice a year, this weekend and then very much later in the season. And IndyCar here this weekend, and what a great weekend it is for motorsports fans to be able to witness these two tremendous racing series at the same track together. Of course, last weekend in St. Petersburg, IndyCar was there along with NASCAR with its Craftsman Truck Series. Trucks gave us a really good show in St. Petersburg last weekend as the new kids on the block in St. Pete. Of course, IndyCar, as we've said, has a rich history at Phoenix, but hasn't been here in the last 8 years. So if they're the new kids on the block in Phoenix this weekend, hopefully they will give us a strong performance and a really entertaining race here this afternoon. Again, just 2 prior winners at Phoenix in this starting field today, those being Joseph Newgarden, who won here in 2018, and Scott Dixon, who was the 2016 winner. Dixon does have a number of starts on the prior Phoenix configuration, but did not win in 2003, 4, or 5. Tony Kanaan winning back-to-back races here in 2003 and 04. Sam Hornish Jr. for Team Penske, the winner here at Phoenix in 2005. This racetrack just over 1 mile in length. And as we talked about, it is such, as you can see on your screen, it's such a unique racetrack. Nothing is the same. It is not a symmetrical racetrack. The front stretch has the dog leg, which is banked. You kind of drop into it and then rise back out of it. Then you have to arc the car up towards the wall to get that good cut down into turns 1 and 2, which is banked at 9 degrees. Then you shoot down a very short back straightaway and in to a much narrower turns 3 and 4, 11 degrees of banking there, and that front stretch banked at 9 degrees too. We're about ready for the command to fire the engines.
It's time to give the command for the Good Ranchers 250. Please welcome your Grand Marshal, Adam Busby. Drivers, start your engine!
Engines get fired up. Clint Bowyer takes to the racetrack. They've been building up to this all weekend long, haven't they, with Clint Bowyer in the IndyCar 2-seater to make laps around this racetrack. That'll be fun. He was talking earlier when he was in the booth for NASCAR qualifying how he doesn't think he's ever been in a race car that he hasn't had control of himself. And I'm sure that's going to be quite the thrill for Clint, as the parade and pace laps will get started here, and we get ready to go for the first IndyCar race at Phoenix in 8 years. So excited for this one. There is a lot of fun And, of course, a lot of people, a lot of IndyCar fans have been asking for more ovals on the calendar, and this one is a fun one as well. And, again, in 1 mile around, qualifying average laps over 170 miles an hour, you reach a speed of mid-180s down both straightaways, which is incredible to think about. See what kind of race we get here today in Phoenix. Of course, Rattlesnake Hill at the tops of turns 1 and 2. This racetrack has gone through multiple different configurations, as you know. What is now the back straightaway, the straightaway on the racetrack, that was once the front stretch where the start-finish line was. It's now the back stretch. 1 and 2 used to be 3 and 4 and vice versa. And the start-finish line now lies outside, just on the exit of turn 4, before you get to the dogleg. We hope to have timing and scoring up soon. It was being a bit of a pester here just a few moments ago when we were trying to get it set up during pre-race, so hopefully we'll have that for you. Of course, pit road is also very tricky here. It takes up a lot of the racetrack. You enter pit road on the exit of turn 2. It goes all the way down the back stretch and also winds its way through turns 3 and 4. Pit exit is just past the start-finish line. Ready to race in Phoenix. It's round 2 of the 2025 NTT IndyCar Series season, and it's a Team Penske lockout of the front row, with David Malukas leading the field to an IndyCar green flag for the first time ever. Joseph Newgarden, 17 career oval wins, very accomplished, very seasoned in racing like this. He is with his young teammate on the front row. Then it's all RLL in row 3 with Graham Rahal and very inexperienced Mick Schumacher. So here we go. Pace car dives off to pit road, and the field moves in double file formation down the back straightaway, heading towards turns 3 and 4. The red number 12 of David Malukas, the yellow and white number 2 of Joseph Newgarden, brings the field off turn 4 to the green flag, and it's time to drop the hammer and IndyCar's return to Phoenix. We are racing through the dogleg for the first time at speed. Malukas got off to a bit of a staggered start, but he clears Joseph Newgarden down to the inside of turns 1 and 2, the first time through the first set of corners. Malukas away with the lead, shoots down the back straightaway with Joseph Newgarden in behind. There was a lot of jockeying for position behind the front row, but it's Malukas across the line. He will lead the opening lap. Side-by-side racing. Alex Palou has already moved up quite a bit from his starting position of 10th, and around the outside he goes in turn 1, picking off cars left, right, and center. Graham Rahal files in line in the 3rd position. Mick Schumacher in 4th. And Rahal has Palou racing around his outside off of turn 4. How about Alex Palou's start here as he rips it around the outside of 4 and gets by Rahal? That puts Palou up into the 4th position. Alexander Rossi also made a tremendous start. He's actually in line 3rd, so it's Malukas, Newgarden, then Rossi, then Palou, then Rahal. Schumacher's fallen back here off the start. Here's Scott Dixon in turns 3 and 4, down on the inside, slipping past Dennis Hauger, and now he's wheel to wheel with Nolan Siegel, and now Hauger cuts to the inside through the dogleg on the approach to turn 1. He thought about 3 wide, thankfully didn't do that, and even better reason is Hauger twitches off the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway goes the middle of the field, back into turns 3 and 4. The laps go by so very quickly around this race course. Malukas leads. Newgarden is 2nd. 3rd is Alexander Rossi, picking up 3 spots on the start, going from 6th to 3rd. What about Will Power? After his qualifying crash yesterday, started at the very rear of the field, and he is trying to make up ground here early. He shoots his way past Nolan Siegel in turns 1 and 2. He's got Marcus Ericsson just in front of him, along with Scott Dixon, and Power is wide in turns 3 and 4. Uses every bit of that 11 degrees of banking there. And we'll pull up right underneath the rear wing of Marcus Ericsson. Power down to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Ericsson a groove, maybe even a groove and a half higher than Power through turns 1 and 2. As Power tries to make up positions very early, we could very well, if we see long green flag runs, see drivers falling off the lead lap very, very quickly in this race. So Power knew he would have to be a hard charger from the start. He has those left side tires right up against the yellow line in turns 1 and 2. Flings it out onto the back straightaway in the slipstream of Ericsson. You do get a slipstream down that back straightaway, but there's not a lot of straightaway to run with to try to load up a run. Power exits turn 4, still in behind Ericsson. Comes across the line. Power trying to gain as many positions as he can here on the start. Meanwhile, at the front, David Malukas has shot out. The young 25-year-old from Chicago in his first year with Team Penske. Didn't go his way in St. Petersburg last weekend, of course. Had a flat tire, which totally derailed his race in the first stint of the day. As the field winds their way around this flat 1 mile oval, Alex Palou, a big mover on the start of this race. From his starting position of 10th, he has made moves early. Palou just in behind, just passing rather, Graham Rahal. Meanwhile, Dennis Hauger further back with Christian Rasmussen. Rasmussen, the winner at the short oval in Milwaukee, Wisconsin last year. In behind Hauger going to turns 1 and 2. Hauger for Dale Coyne Racing had a brilliant rookie weekend last weekend. Oh, but he spins here off of turn 2. Hauger spinning down the back straightaway. Somehow keeps it off the wall. Does an incredible job to keep it off the wall. He goes in reverse all the way down the back stretch. Now he flicks the wheel and spins it back the right direction, and the caution flies for the first time this afternoon in Phoenix. What an incredible save by the rookie, the Norwegian nightmare, Dennis Hauger, as Christian Rasmussen closed up right in behind him, right underneath his rear wing coming out of turn 2. Hauger goes for a spin, keeps it off the wall, and then, as I said, just reversed it basically the length of the back straightaway before flicking the wheel back round to get back in the right direction. What a save by Dennis Hauger to keep it off the wall. His first taste of oval racing in IndyCar, and he has done a fabulous job to save that race car and not cram it into the wall. Wow. Could have been a disaster for the reigning Indy Next champion. But Hauger has done extremely well there. Caution is out for the first time. So caution flies here in Phoenix. And we will take a moment and we will get connected with the folks at JB Motorsports here as we get this early caution and a chance to do that. Okay, so having some difficulties getting connected with the folks at JBM. Hopefully we'll get with JB and the crew as quickly as we can here. Meanwhile, can tell you that timing has finally gotten up on our end. There we go. Very good. At least attempt to get you as much as we can here. It's given us an issue so far today, but at least you can see the top runners as best as possible. David Malukas, who had that great start from pole and was running away from most of the pack before that caution as Dennis Hauger went spinning around off of turn 2. But what a save Hauger made to keep that car in one piece as Christian Rasmussen pulled up right to his gearbox and Hauger lost it. What a great weekend it was in St. Petersburg for the Dale Coyne team, as they both ended up in the top 10, both qualified top 10, finished top 10, did Hauger and Romain Grosjean. It's been more of a struggle for them this weekend. So there you see the top 10 runners. David Malukas holding on to the lead on the start. From Newgarden, Rossi, Palou jumping up from 10th to 4th. And then Rinus VeeKay in 5th. Rahal, McLaughlin, O'Ward, Kirkwood, and Schumacher rounding out the top 10. So Palou up 6 on the start. Schumacher down 6 on the start. We anticipated a bit of a chaotic and sketchy start to this race, and that is most certainly what we got. We'll try one more time here before the restart to connect up with JBM and gang. See if we can.
And Rossi, brilliant start up into 3rd place from Alex Palou, your reigning champion and championship leader. Rinus VeeKay, beautiful drive up to 5th. Then Rahal and McLaughlin, O'Ward, Kirkwood and Schumacher, your top 10. Will Power, the man on the move at the start of this race, started 25th, currently sits 14th.
14th at the moment, as we'll say good afternoon to Matthew Owens as we sync up with USMN as well. Hello Matthew, can you hear me?
Hello JB, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks, how are you?
Doing well. Exciting start, huh? What a save by Dennis Hauger, my gosh.
Oh, Hauger's start, that was amazing, just letting off the brakes at the right moment and was able to keep the car pointing in the right direction. I thought I was going to go ahead into the barrier. That could have been a big one. So Hauger's definitely got talent. And what a start by Malukas, eh?
Yeah.
He really doesn't look like he's fitting in well.
Yeah, that was a really good start. He didn't want to see the caution, but looks like we are coming back to the restart here, JB, as we get back going. So excited for IndyCars to be back at Phoenix. Let's see what this single file restart's going to look like.
Yeah, no double file, single files coming through. This could be quite something. Into the restart zone, we are go. And the second start of the Phoenix 250 is underway. Malukas gets a good one, but already further back, it's 3 wide. And Palou had Alexander Rossi chipping in his heels as well. Pato O'Ward trying to go on the outside of Scott McLaughlin. All good restarts so far, Matthew, as they come out of turn 2.
Alex Palou holding on to 4th, but now Graham Rahal might want to try to take it away from him. Slips to his inside in turn 3. And Palou gets caught up in the dirty air, and he's going to have company to his right. Maybe it's now, and he's crashed. Palou turned into the wall, into the dog leg. Oh my goodness, the champion and last weekend's winner of the season opener in St. Pete. He got caught in traffic in turns 3 and 4, and he gets clipped and forced into the wall early in Phoenix.
Caution out again. The championship leader, the man who won 8 races last year, is out on lap, believe it or not, 21, but for about 11 minutes into the race. 8 minutes of green running, that's unbelievable. Let's have a little look, Matthew. So Rahal's going to go down low. Palou knows he's gone there. His spotter would have told him, but then it doesn't seem to work out, because then when he tries to go underneath, he's going to get around the outside, completely unaware now, Matthew, when he comes up the wall.
And this is Rinus VeeKay, I think. Is that VeeKay?
Yeah, VeeKay.
Yeah, that was to his outside. And, I mean, VeeKay could not go any higher than he was, and Palou just squeezed him. Scott McLaughlin with great avoidance. But, yeah, Palou, who made that great start on the initial start, he went from 10th to 4th. But he got a bit wide out of turn 2, didn't he? That's what left him vulnerable to Rahal going into 3, and then he got caught up in the dirty air in the wake of Rahal's car, and then VeeKay saw an opening to his outside, and Palou just makes a mistake. You do not see mistakes by Alex Palou very often, but that was one, because VeeKay did nothing wrong here. VeeKay had nowhere else he could go in this situation. Palou just squeezed him into the wall.
Well, we're looking at everybody else now thinking what's going to happen next. Not the way we wanted to start this as well. Should we have a word with Tom Gatemore from Sky F1 and see what he made of that? We can bring him back now as Fox goes to the break. Tom Gatemore.
Well, whoever's got cautions, precautions on their bingo cards, this is it, and it's a big one. It's Alex Palou. Who would have thought? One or two getting in touch. Thomas Allen asking a good question on socials. Is that a spotter error from Palou's crew, or is it just one of those things? Now, for me, the characteristic of the track plays a big part there, off of 4. And why I say that, you've got the dogleg there on the left-hand side. Now, that dogleg is really important because they're still on the banking. You've got the yellow line, and you can't come off of the apron there with an IndyCar. If that dogleg's not there, I think Palou stays tight, but he's worried about getting low on that inside line with the dogleg there, and so he's run up high to the wall, not known that he's not clear. Whether or not that's a spotter error, I don't know. And VK's still there with his nose in. VK can see all of that happening. Is he going to go around the outside with that dogleg there down to turn 1? I very much doubt it. I doubt it at all. So maybe you could say, well, VK needs to get out of it there, but is he entitled to be there? Well, yes, he is as well. We'll see what the new independent officiating board make of that. Carl Novak is still, of course, your race director, but we have a new independent officiating board here, and that is the stricken DHL car of Alex Palou, the number 10 machine, being hauled away, and his day is done. When was the last time we said that? Now, if you've got any questions, you can get in touch on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, whatever it is. Use your hashtag SkyIndyCar or @TomGatemore. I'll try and get those out. I said I'd give a shout out to Stewie's son Emerson, who's just been given braces, having a horrible time of it. So that's rubbish. Hopefully the entertainment here at Phoenix is taking the attention away from the pain there, and there will be much pain in the 10 camp, because Alex Palou, Chip Ganassi, they won't take this lightly, and it could be the first time since June 2024 that we have a different championship leader when we move away from Phoenix. A lot of people say, should I give up on 2026 after St. Pete? I said, I think Phoenix will be a great leveler. It's proving to be a great leveler as it is. David Malukas leads lap 28 of 250. It's a Team Penske 1-2.
Something pretty special for fans. Go to goodranchers.com to order 100% American beef, chicken and seafood for your spring and summer grilling. Take advantage of $100 off your first 3 orders with the code GOFAST. Still under caution here in Phoenix. That the car of the reigning champion. Now, I think I'm seeing Santino Ferrucci down there on pit lane. Jamie, can you tell us a little about the difference in pit stops that you're seeing today?
Yes, exactly. Between NASCAR and IndyCar, different vernacular, right? And different tools. So for IndyCar, and Ferrucci is one of those that wants a balance adjustment. So what they'll do, they can go one way or the other, depending on what he wants, if he has oversteer or understeer. That's a little T-handle on both sides of the front wing for IndyCar. In NASCAR, if you want a balance adjustment, this is the best way. A wedge adjustment. This is a wedge wrench. They put it in the rear wheel. They can go either way. And if you need extra help, well, you've got Barabond tape. The difference between the two, Will.
Getting ready for the restart, Matthew. Here we go again.
Well, here we go again, indeed. And what will this restart give us? Malukas will lead us to the green from Newgarden and Rossi. Alexander Rossi made a really good start. Here we go through turns 3 and 4. Green flag up into the air. We complete lap 30 of 250. Can Malukas tiptoe away from Newgarden again like he did last time? Newgarden's right underneath his rear wing on the way to turn 1. Rossi is in third, and then side by side at 4. Scott McLaughlin trying to take Graham Rahal out of turn 2, but he can't do it.
Yeah, I still can't find that high line being rubbered in. Don't forget you're fighting Firestone and Goodyear rubber out there. And the O'Reilly race is coming up later on. We have the Cup Series practice on just before this. It's been a busy old week coming into this, but so far so good. 3 wide coming through the back of the track before the dogleg section. Dixon's trying to go around the outside now as well of Louis Foster. Foster's keeping that low line, but Dixon has the momentum on the high. Finally, we have our TV graphics available to us after Fox has had several issues with the international feed this weekend, thanks to the likes of the teaming up with the NASCAR crew riding on board. But case in point, you can tell he was on a NASCAR when they put the heads-up display on. Oh, it's an absolute mess, isn't it, really, Matthew, this weekend? You can tell it's a NASCAR weekend and IndyCar's just shoved themselves in.
Well, Fox's graphics and timing on IndyCar last year had so many different spells of being a mess. But yes, it's been a mess so far today. Will Power, who started last, has already jumped up to 13th, and they're wheel to wheel in front of him. Nolan Siegel trying to get to the inside of Stingray Robb. Power's just in behind this. Christian Rasmussen behind Power's on the move. He powers around the outside of Scott Dixon. This is 5 cars in a big knot in turns 1 and 2. Power trying to go to the inside of Robb. He drifts up the racetrack, nearly bangs tires with Rasmussen, who doesn't even think about lifting. Power does have to bail out of the throttle. Rasmussen goes by. Dixon might do the same.
Dixon has that low line. He gets ahead of Power. Power's been up and down all day. He's been up 10 places from where he started, but lost 2 from that restart zone. Rasmussen now up into 12th position, and still side by side. Here we go again with that McLaren on the low line, and Power's going to have to try and hold back Christian Lundgaard. Power's up high, Lundgaard slings through, still can't find on the tight line. Dixon, however, gets ahead of Stingray Robb and keeps 13th position.
Meanwhile, Power faded high. Yeah, Power faded high out of turn 4. Lundgaard gets around him. Now Felix Rosenqvist is going to try. These are the 2 cars that have crashed this weekend. Rosenqvist in practice, Power in qualifying. They are wheel to wheel out of turn 2. Power really struggling in the turbulent air here of all of this traffic. He's going to hold off Rosenqvist for now to hold on to the 16th position. But Power is really struggling to get a handle on that yellow and black Andretti number 26.
Still pushing like absolute crazy though, aren't they, as well? That's the beautiness of this race. As they continue on. Foster running in 19th position. Maluka still by 22.793. That's the fastest up at the moment. We've completed 37 inside. So Power up 9 places. He might make it 10. He's flicking around now to try to get ahead of Rosenqvist, who is running in 16th position. They're still quite tight coming through turn 3 and into 4, where the start line comes through at the end of the dogleg, and still Power is putting a lot of trust in the outside line despite that crash in qualifying, Matthew. He's side by side, and now he loses out. He hasn't got the momentum to get through. Rosenqvist had it all the way.
Yeah, so Rosenqvist gets around Power, and now Power, who had climbed all the way up to 13th, has now fallen to 17th. So it's just a yo-yo right now for Will Power, who again, as I mentioned earlier, does have to be careful to not fall a lap down. Are we about to get an interview from Alex Palou?
Yes.
Someone was trying to get there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think there was anybody there. Need to see if there was really that space or not. But yeah, I'm fortunate that we ended up in the wall so early and not even trying. But it's racing.
Thanks, Alex.
Very interesting.
So that was with Georgia Hannebury down there. Rasmussen's up into 9th place. Ericsson's taken 10th. Schumacher drops from 11th place, where he started. Great qualifying by Schumacher, actually, I want to say as well, Matthew.
Yeah.
He's really taken to over racing. The testing he did with Rahal Lederman Lanigan Racing late last year, they always go well at ovals compared to road courses.
Well, and there's been times where they've struggled on the short ovals as well, and they've really improved. They've got the whole team looking really good this weekend, but that qualifying run by Schumacher was incredible. Now, predictable for his first oval race, predictable to drop down the way he did at the start from 4th to 10th, but he settled in nicely, although Christian Rasmussen, we're getting a replay of, just ripped it around the outside of. I'm telling you what, there might not be a more fearless driver in the field than Christian Rasmussen. That's the way he got his win in Milwaukee last year, outdueling Alex Palou in the late laps, because he is just fearless, and he has picked up 9 positions off the start from 18th to 9th.
Yeah. Very good move from Rasmussen last season as well. Got it exactly as he needed it to. as well. We're riding on board with him now with Driver's Eyes, sponsored by Java House. As they fly through. Look how low, he's just clipping it. Phoenix is quite a flat banking level though. It's quite a difficult one to race on because you're not carrying the speed into the corners, are you? You are having to brake, you're having to lift off and just sort of ride the curve. So it makes for an interesting cup race, which will come tomorrow. But for IndyCar, we haven't been here since 2018. And the last time we came here, it was the introduction really, wasn't it, as to why we have the aero screen. But should this have been a night race rather than a day race?
I don't know about that. I think it runs well in both, especially this early in the year. Now, if we were coming here later in the year and it was getting really Arizona hot, then I could see running it at night. But it's been a nice day. It's early enough to run it during the day.
Oh, big twitch coming through there again from Rasmussen coming out of 3. Just held it together nicely as we take a look then. Moving through now with Venus VK in that classical numbered 76. He's run.
Yep, copy. Let's just focus on the damage here. We'll figure out the rest later. What's it feel like? Yeah, steering up to the left. I think he's got suspension damage here.
So he's got suspension damage, Matthew, after that contact with Palou. He's veering up to the left.
Yeah, and that's not a surprise. That was heavy contact, his left front to the rear right of Palou, so not surprising to hear that there's a lot of damage. He's fallen 4 laps down, has VK. Such a shame. He was heading towards a strong-looking weekend. Rasmussen has made another pass. He's just gone around Marcus Armstrong, so Rasmussen is up to 8th. Could he make it 2 short oval wins in a row to get it done at Milwaukee? You wouldn't count Nashville as a short oval, would you, at 1 1/3 miles? So if he were to win today, Rasmussen, he would win back-to-back short oval races. What a story that would be for the Ed Carpenter team.
Exactly what they need to come through. Who's winning, we're being told? David Malukas at the moment. He's got it for Team Penske with Joseph Newgarden running in 2nd position. They pretty much held that since the start of the race. Rossi running in 3rd, Ray Hall's 4th, McLaughlin 5th, O'Ward in 6th position as it currently stands. But they are closing in on time and positions as we watch Malukas now in that 12 car leading the way. I don't want to say this, Matthew, but was it willpower? Was it not Penske? Was it not the 12 car? Was it willpower? Because he's had 2 disastrous races so far. This is only race 2, by the way. Multiple crashes in St. Pete, multiple crashes here at Phoenix. He's running so far down in 16th, but Malukas immediately hit the ball running.
Yeah, he has, no doubt about it. And, of course, what happened to Malukas last weekend that created that bad finish, not his fault at all with the flat tire. But we knew that Malukas coming to these ovals, no matter if they're the short ovals or the larger ovals like Nashville at 1 1/3 miles, or Indianapolis, of course, we know that David Malukas is going to be a threat on the ovals. He has been a threat on the ovals in the past when he hasn't been in Penske material. Now put him in a Penske car on an oval. David Malukas is going to be a threat to win any and all of these ovals, from Phoenix to Nashville and Gateway, Milwaukee, and certainly the 500 at Indianapolis as well.
A bit of a twitch again. Rasmussen trying to find the control. Listen on board with him through a full lap. I think we're going to have now. Let's listen in and just listen to the changes as it comes over the green flag line now. It's amazing, Matthew, the amount of downshifting you have to do on just 1 lap as well. You're never above really 4th gear that much because you just downshift all the way down into about 2nd and just ride the curbs. It's a weird circuit, this one, isn't it? It's not a typical oval, as you said.
It's such a unique... Wow, and there he is twitching again out of turn 2. It's one of the most unique ovals that we have in this country. As, goodness, he might be about to make another pass. He's got, who is that? Kyle Kirkwood just in front of him. Running in the, no, I beg your pardon. Is that O'Ward? Yeah. So he's already passed Kirkwood, hasn't he? So Rasmussen is just on the fly. But yes, it's such a unique racetrack, and it's so interesting as we watch and listen to these laps being turned by Rasmussen, how different it is, obviously, than you run this racetrack in a stock car in NASCAR, but there's also similarities to how you run this track from IndyCar to stock car, because turns 1 and 2 is much more inviting. It's a wider radius, and you can, even in an IndyCar, go up a groove, maybe even a groove and a half if you're really gutsy in 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, it's a much narrower groove. You basically have to stay in the groove and a half box that you have for 3 and 4. Obviously, we're not cutting the dog leg in Indy cars. You cannot do that in these cars. But even though there are very many differences on how a stock car and an Indy car gets around here, there are similarities as well, and it's so interesting to see. And that's what makes these double weekends so great. And here goes Rasmussen. Wow, going into turn 3, he just plants it to the inside and flies by Pato O'Ward. Rasmussen is going to be heard from before the end of this race. He's already being heard from in the first 60 laps.
Just like he was standing still, wasn't it, as well? Just completely straight through. Not bad move at all then, coming into it as the action goes on.
He is something else to watch.
He's brilliant on ovals. He just turns it up to 11. It's fantastic stuff.
Stingray Robb and Kaio Collette have been lapped. We've talked about how quickly, if you get a long green flag run, cars will fall off the lead lap very quickly. And Collette falling off the lead lap there. And, of course, we know about Rinus VeeKay with his contact with Alex Palou. He's 4 laps down. And Rasmussen, ever since he's passed O'Ward, what was that, 2 laps ago, he's jetted away from O'Ward, and he is pulled up. He's gotten the rod and reel out, and he's reeling in Scott McLaughlin for 5th. He's already gained, 12 positions off the start, Rasmussen, and he's looking for more.
Rasmussen now right in the back of Scotty Mack. And look at that already. Rasmussen just looks like he's on rails. He's literally, as you said, the fishing rod just pulling him in time upon time. It is like a magnet being drawn into an MRI machine. Fabulous stuff going on. He is going to win this race, and it will be a brilliant battle with him and Malukas. As Scotty Mack tries to block going high, so down low because Rasmussen, he's going to go for it, and he slips through with complete ease down into turns 3 and 4. Fabulous run.
Yeah, you're not going to stop this man today. The only thing that's going to stop him is going to be the car or his pit crew, because my goodness, if he keeps running like this, he is going to be unstoppable. That is 13 positions gained in, 63 laps, but not all of those laps have been under green. So, I mean, it's been, about 45 probably green flag laps, and he's picked up 13 positions. That is amazing. Next on his hit list will be Graham Rahal, who he puts the crosshairs on. He's already within about 5 or 6 car lengths of him.
Malukas, Newgarden, Rossi, Rahal, Rasmussen, McLaughlin, O'Ward, Kirkwood, Armstrong, Ericsson. That's the top 10. Schumacher, Siegel, Dixon, Lundgaard, Rosenquist down to 15 as well. Their battles just keep on brewing as Rasmussen's next victim is Graham Rahal coming up now as well, and he's going to find some interesting times and interesting delta as well, because look at he's on a short fuel load, but Rasmussen is just electric. This is one of the best oval races we've seen since Newgarden.
Yeah, and you know, he drives for Ed Carpenter, who of course was so good in his career on ovals, and that team knows how to set up oval race cars. So, and I mean, look, Alexander Rossi's up there in 3rd. Now, Rossi, you know, his 2016 Indy 500 win, his only career oval win, but he's sitting up there in 3rd in an ECR car. Rasmussen's jumped up to 5th. So, yeah, Ed Carpenter knows how to set up oval cars, no doubt about that. But I will be interested when he gets by Rahal, if he gets by Rahal, how long will it take for him to go up and battle those top 3? As here he comes. Boy, a groove higher than Rahal in 1 and 2. Loads it up around the outside. Is he going to try that inside move into 3 again like he did on McLaughlin? Yes, he is. And Rahal knows not to try to defend that. Rasmussen, my goodness, like a rat through a drain pipe, up into 4th position.
Brilliant move. Brilliant job. They're continuing this. So now Rasmussen goes into P4. That'll put Rossi as his next target, and the 2 Penskes. But there's not that big of a gap, is there, Matthew? Thanks to that caution that came out around about 15 minutes ago. It hasn't really allowed them time to spread out and get a couple of laps on, as that is Pato O'Ward making a green flag pit stop. That's very early on lap 67 of 250.
Yeah, I was just thinking what those 2 early cautions would have done to the fuel windows and when we would see cars on pit road. And this does strike me as early for Pato to be on pit road with those 2 yellows, but completes the service on the 5. And away goes O'Ward back onto the racetrack, and you would think that others will probably start to follow him in. Yep, Scott McLaughlin's in here in that bright electric blue Gallagher-sponsored number 3.
Yep, Scotty Mack dives in then to the pit lane.
Oh!
They want to break over there at Fox. What's going on?
Rasmussen has pulled up right on Rossi, his teammate. They click across the start-finish line. This is for 3rd position, and Rasmussen is going to dive to his inside on the approach to turn 1. And just like Rahal a moment ago, Rossi knows not to try to defend it, but Rasmussen's high. Rasmussen wide in 1 and 2, has to come off the corner at a very shallow angle. Rossi thought about diving it down the inside in 3, but thinks better of it. So Rasmussen into a podium place in well under 100 laps. He's gone from 18th on the grid to 3rd.
Malukas and Schumacher coming down the pit road now. So that's good. And Will Power coming in. So that, well, hang on a minute. Has Malukas actually come into the pit lane? Because our timing monitor said he was in, but I think he's clipped the pit line, Matthew. I don't think he's actually in.
Oh, a terrible pit stop going on for Mick Schumacher. You're going to lose a load of time there. Newgarden in, and he pulls away. Quick stop for the 2 team, as you always expect. But, yeah, Schumacher was having a terrible stop in the pit bay of the 47. Here's Malukas from the lead. As once again, timing and scoring has gone wrong on Fox. They have been on.
Malukas, and he went down the. I think he went down the wrong pit lane, Matthew.
Let's see. What?
I think that's what's happened. Because there's 2 pit lanes here, remember?
Well, he's finally gotten to the attention of his crew, and service is quickly complete. They gave a good tug on that front wing, making an adjustment there for David. Rasmussen is still not pitted, so he has stayed out. He's grabbed the lead. Marcus Armstrong is now 2nd, and we'll see what the blend is between the teammates. Here comes Newgarden with warmed-up tires around the outside of Malukas in 1 and 2. Oh, my goodness, this could be the fight for the lead, and it is so tight. Oh, and there's contact between the teammates, wheel to wheel, down the back straightaway, and Newgarden sticks it into 3 and passes Malukas.
Yeah, I think Malukas was... That was fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think Malukas, let's have a look at it. Down the back straight, the 2 teammates, a little bit of a kiss. Malukas coming up into Newgarden, nothing he could do about it. But yeah, I think Malukas clipped the pit lane at the wrong line. I think that's why we had that original sort of mentality of that fact that the pit lane clashed him as in, because they were supposed to bring Newgarden in 1 lap, Malukas the next, and I think got the wrong call.
Wow.
Oh, Roger
Penske. So Roger Penske watching that through his hands. Oh my gosh, had to be thinking, what is happening? Yeah, this is Scott McLaughlin trying to get around Newgarden.
Oh, I think they touched wheels as well, Matthew. I think we just cut away from that angle. The way Newgarden was coming up the circuit. Into the pit lane, though, comes the superstar, Christian Rasmussen, Jack Harvey.
He is in, and that was such an exciting stint for him. And as Townsend says, he is the Sultan of Sketch. A full bill of 100% energy refill, and he's on.
Now, here's Malukas trying to get back by by Newgarden, rather, but can't.
All right, go on.
Yeah, so, and now Newgarden gets blocked a bit by Mick Schumacher going into turn 1. Well, Newgarden having a tough time of it here. He had his teammate Malukas trying to get by him, and now here he comes again. Off turn 2, Malukas to the inside of Newgarden, makes the pass now at a very acute angle. Malukas to the inside of Schumacher in 3, had to bail out of the throttle, and Newgarden gets back around him on the outside. Wow! Punch for counter punch here by the Penske guys. Goodness.
What a race.
And Newgarden having to deal with so much lap traffic here. That Stingray Robb in front of him, and they're not getting out of his way, trying to stay on the lead lap, of course, trying to stay ahead of the leader. But boy, now here comes Malukas again, reeling in Newgarden one more time, and we'll see where Rasmussen filtered in after his stop in comparison to these two. But this is good stuff. Already 80 laps in.
Carl Collette comes into the pit lane as well. Ferrucci spent, Ferrucci 3 seconds. I think there's a problem with the pit sensor again. We had this in NASCAR here last year. Whoa, either side of Schumacher.
That was...
What on earth is these guys doing? Schumacher got to feel what it was like to be Zonta.
Yeah. Well, and Newgarden got held up there by Schumacher off of 2, and that gave Malukas such a massive run. But then Malukas had to go into turn 3 at such a tight angle. Newgarden was able to get back around the outside of him. But my gosh, this is incredible stuff between these two, and the Penske teammates not giving an inch and not asking for any.
This race is bizarre. End of story.
Now, it would be nice if Fox's timing and scoring would, come back up yet again, but it's had another issue. But we'd like to know where Rasmussen is right now in comparison to the Penske cars, because Rasmussen stayed out so much longer than those two. This is Rossi getting by Rahal further back. We still haven't seen pit stops from Marcus Armstrong, Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenqvist, Dennis Hauger. And actually, I'm thinking, if I'm seeing this right, on IndyCar's timing and scoring. Oh, here's Rasmussen here, trying to get around Malukas in turns 1 and 2. Rasmussen has caught him up, tried to go around his outside in 1 and 2, but couldn't. But now Malukas has a roadblock in front of him in the person of Stingray Robb. Malukas has to bail out of the throttle in the approach to 3, as Newgarden finally got around Robb, but now Malukas can't.
Yeah, won't get out of the way. It's coming through. Still in a battle, still in a run. Armstrong's into the pits, and they're now through low. Malukas gets ahead of Stingray Robb, and is he going to bring Rasmussen with him? Yes, he does. Rasmussen goes low. Very late call, though, for Rasmussen to dive low through 3 and 4.
Well, you better believe Rasmussen was pulling that move to stay in touch with Malukas, because they've lost time to Newgarden following Stingray Robb for the couple of laps that they were. So Armstrong, as you mentioned, came to pit road, still waiting for Dixon, Rosenqvist, Ferrucci, Hauger, and Simpson to pit. But what's interesting, Pato O'Ward, who was the first to pit road, JB, he has jumped all of these guys. He's gotten ahead of Newgarden, Malukas, and Rasmussen. So Pato O'Ward, when this cycles out, will be the leader once Dixon, Rosenqvist, and Hauger pits. Gosh.
Yeah, I think... Oh, look at Malukas. He's all over the back now of Kiffin Simpson as they come down. How's Mick's race doing? I will tell you, Marcel. Mick Schumacher currently is down in 21st position. He's on a 15-lap-old set of primary tyres. He stopped, 15 laps ago. But for his first oval race, he's in the mix, isn't he? Because not everyone has stopped yet, Matthew. So it's a good opening race for Mick. Yeah, learning a lot.
We'll see how it cycles out. He's been in some sketchy situations. The start wasn't great for him with all of those cars bunched in on him 2 by 2, and he's been in some sketchy positions with the leaders coming around him through the pit stop cycle, but he's done well to hold his own here. Here's Rasmussen again coming up on the rear wing of Malukas, exiting turn 2, and then he has to bail out of the throttle in the dirty air of Malukas in his wake. I can't believe how long. Now Dixon has pitted in this race. He pitted under one of the cautions, and I'm assuming Rosenqvist and Hauger did as well. So he hasn't gone this whole way on one fuel run, obviously, but they are on an alternate strategy, are those top 3, and they have stayed out a lot longer. What, O'Ward came in on lap 67, was that right, JB? So if that was 67, then Dixon's gone about 25 laps longer.
Yes, it was. Yeah, lap 67 is when they all started coming in. Now he's done 90, now 91, so he's starting to close up again and again and again.
Very good. Rasmussen.
Oh, Rasmussen wide, coming out of turn 2, down the back straight 3 and 4. He's on the inside line now and breezes past Kiffin Simpson. Basically, if you want money, put it on Rasmussen.
Yeah. Well, and if you want entertainment, just keep a camera on that 21 car. He is incredible to watch. Unbelievable. Here's Mick Schumacher. He's not 4th. but, oh my goodness, the struggles.
Oh, sorry, Georgia, I thought she was playing.
22nd for Mick Schumacher.
Yep, sorry about that, Georgia. I thought you were playing. I could hear Georgia. I thought we were down to it, but no. Wasn't on the international feed as the racing comes through. Riding on board now with one of the McLarens.
This is
I think
Dixon.
it's Longard, isn't it? Oh, it's Dixon. Oh, it's Scott Dixon. Get the names on the halo. I know Dixon's name is there, but they've covered it with their heads-up display.
Yes, exactly right. Staying out a long time here is Dixon, but he is still leading. He's got nearly 5 seconds on Award, who is 4th, but is the first car that's pitted under this green flag cycle. And he's got 7 seconds on Newgarden, 9 on Malukas and Rasmussen. So Dixon's done well on this run, just keeping this run going, not dropping off the face of the earth on his lap time. So this is good from the 9 team.
On board with Rasmussen, using that boost power.
Yeah, and this is incredible to watch. If you're watching the pictures, oh golly, just seeing him move those hands back and forth on the wheel. He and Pato O'Ward have to be the most entertaining watches in this sport.
Massively so. It's an energetic race, isn't it, this one? What a great start to the season. Don't you agree?
I love it. I've been asking for years to put more races in March. We've been asking for more ovals for a while. I've been asking for more races in March, and to have 3 races back to back like this to start the season is a great move from IndyCar. Here's Scott Dixon from the lead, finally coming to pit road just shy of lap 100.
Well, I don't know if Omi's got a microphone on him right now, but we are running a double shift here tonight for the Formula 3. Hello, Omi. So I'm going to leave Omi and Matthew in your capable hands while I go set up Formula 3.
Yes, he's just setting up my stream as well. Matthew, hello, how are you?
Very good, especially because this race is very good as Rasmussen is going to try again to slip it down the inside of Malukas in 3 and 4. He doesn't have enough room to do it there, but Omi, this has been great racing, especially from Christian Rasmussen, who might fireball his way past Malukas this time, and he does in turn 1. Rasmussen passes Malukas. That'll put him 2nd, or make that 3rd, once everything cycles out. It'll be O'Ward, Newgarden, and then Rasmussen.
Lots of bravery on display. Absolutely fantastic to see as they slipstream and get themselves closer and then go for that brave move up the inside, some even possibly on the outside. That's how brave the drivers have been today, and that's how much they've been pushing on the low line, on the high line, and it's been absolutely fantastic to watch.
And Rasmussen pulls her up right up underneath the rear wing of Newgarden, doesn't try to make a pass on him through 3 and 4. 100 laps down, and will Rasmussen try through the dogleg, gets a run on Newgarden, cuts to his inside, wheel to wheel in turn 1, and Rasmussen is by. Oh my goodness, this man is incredible to watch, and he gets by Newgarden, and now next on his hit list will be O'Ward, who is now the leader of the race as the pit stops have cycled out.
Rasmussen has absolutely no fear, arrives there, says goodbye and gets on with the rest of his race. It's absolutely fantastic to watch, and yeah, such a great driver behind the wheel, and it is great to see him wrestle away with that car around this oval as he moves himself further up the order.
Well, he is amazing to watch, as we've talked about so much through these first 100 laps. But now the question is, Omi, he's pulled himself up from 18th on the grid to be into the battle for the top positions here in basically 100 laps. But we're not yet halfway in this race. Can he calm down as needed? He doesn't need to be making any big mistakes, and he's right on the razor's edge every time we look at him. Can he now manage the race now that he's finally been able to manage getting through the field?
And that's going to be so important, won't it, as well? He's going to have to, you can't just completely go full out attack, as great as it would be. You do have to kind of judge it. You have to also think about different aspects. I mean, it's always been part of racing, thinking about so much more. You can't completely be full flat out over these 250 laps that we have here at Phoenix. So he's got to manage it. He's got to balance it. He's had the moments of absolutely roaring through, but he's going to have to be careful come later on, or he'll struggle in the overall picture.
No doubt about it, but he's got the experience from the Milwaukee win last year when he outdueled Palou in the late laps there to win on that short oval. There's not a ton of similarities to Phoenix and Milwaukee. Much more banking here, much more kind of rises as you drop into the dog leg and then rise back out of it. So there's not a direct correlation to Milwaukee and Phoenix other than they are both 1 mile. Now, Milwaukee is basically tabletop flat in the corners. 9 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2 here. 11 degrees in 3 and 4. But look how quickly he's jetted away from Newgarden. And now he's pulled up on Pato O'Ward and could try to take the lead of this race away in the next couple of laps. And remember, he's got fresher tires than O'Ward. O'Ward pitted much earlier than Rasmussen did. So, Omi, this is a battle for the lead that might not be much of a battle because Rasmussen is flying.
Absolutely flying, searches for that outside line, looking to try now and make the move, and he's going to look the long way round once again. So much bravery at high speed. Can he do it?
Yes, he does. Oh my goodness, just turns it around the outside of O'Ward and gets by for the lead. What an incredible driver this young man is.
Oh, it's thrilling. It's fantastic. It's everything and more of what you want from IndyCar. He brings it as well in a perfect series, and you know, it's fantastic to watch him constantly at work, constantly doing all the goods on the circuit, and this has been a great couple of minutes watching him at work.
But now, as we were just talking about, he's gotten to the lead now. He has gone from 18th on the grid to the lead in less than half the race, which is an incredible accomplishment on his own as he puts a lap around Nolan Siegel. But as we were just talking about, now he has to manage the race. He has no one else to pass for position, at least for now. Now he's got to bring things down a little bit. He cannot be in a position where he's putting himself on a knife's edge over and over. There's no need to do it anymore. He's clearly got a fast race car. He might be the fastest driver here. Now he's got to start calming things down a little bit. You don't want to put yourself in the wall unnecessarily. Wow, what a move he made on O'Ward. Good gracious, swiping from inside to out.
Yeah, it was really, really great as well. As we take a look at a replay, if you are synced up with us at the moment, and then straight back over to the live action and the constant live action that we're getting moment after moment after moment. It is right now turning out to be quite a good race, as you mentioned. Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it as you and JB have been going at it. It has been fantastic, and I look forward to hearing about how the second half of it will go as well.
Well, Rasmussen away with the lead, and we'll see when the next cycle of pit stops will come, because this might not be, and more than likely will not be, just a race of the fastest driver in the fastest cars, because we've got two different strategies going on right now, and Scott Dixon, Marcus Armstrong, they're on an alternate strategy. I believe Dennis Hauger's on that alternate strategy as Rasmussen pins it down on the inside of Marcus Ericsson in turns 1 and 2, trying to put a lap on Ericsson. That was a sketchy moment right there, being on the inside of a car that's not going nearly as fast. Now he's going to try to go outside in 3 and 4. Why not? Couldn't get it done on the inside of 1 and 2, Omi. So let's just try the outside of the very next set of corners, and he gets the pass made now on Ericsson.
Yep, doesn't work. Try again. Do the entire process again, but this time even better as well. And that is, well, a great thing I love about these racing drivers, as Rosenquist now also looks for it.
So Rosenquist gets by Ericsson as well. The timing has been just pretty ridiculous from from Fox all day long. It's been a nightmare. It was a nightmare for so much of last season as well. But Rasmussen is the leader. I can tell you, or I thought I could tell you, here we are. We're on lap 117 of 250 is what the IndyCar app is telling me, so we're just shy of halfway, because on our screens we do not have a lap count, and we don't have timing and scoring. We don't have a running order. We have nothing, which is, you know, great place to be.
Yeah, great place to be when, especially, I'm just coming in here for a few minutes and trying to work out what's going on as well, so that's fun.
Yeah, he's got a second and a half, I'm being told, on Pato O'Ward now. So Rasmussen by a second and a half on O'Ward. Newgarden is third, 6.5 seconds back. Malukas is 4th, 7 seconds back, and Kyle Kirkwood is in 5th. So that, Rasmussen got high in 3 and 4 that time, and Felix Rosenqvist, who is on fresher tires, comes zooming down the inside and past. So that was a bit of a moment there for Christian. But yes, if you are watching the pictures and just listening to us, obviously if you're watching, you have full timing and scoring on your screen. Scott McLaughlin 6th, 7th Graham Rahal, Will Power up to 8th after his roller coaster weekend. Christian Lundgaard 9th, Scott Dixon 10th. So that's your top 10 as Rosenqvist is really flying here, cutting his way through traffic. Gets by Stingray Robb on the exit of turn 4. Rasmussen will follow him, and Pato O'Ward, who had closed in on Rasmussen just a bit, will come to pit road. And now, see, this is what we were talking about earlier, isn't it, Omi? I don't know if Rasmussen needs to be trying to take Rosenqvist here, but he's trying him around the outside, and it looks like he's going to have the pass made in 3 and 4. But that's a risk I don't know if it was worth taking.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was completely necessary at this moment in time. So we'll definitely have to see about that as Rosenqvist just continues to just dart away at the back, but just backs out of it at the last moment, and then gets his foot flat to the floor and retakes it.
Yeah, Rosenqvist, his tires are 20 laps fresher than Rasmussen right now. Rosenqvist on 24-lap-old tires, Rasmussen on 44. So that's why Rosenqvist has the pace to pass Rasmussen and stick with him. So Christian doesn't need to be in any position where he's trying to race Felix Rosenqvist. That is not his battle to make right now.
Exactly that. As they currently now prepare to make their way through towards now the next phase of this race. Really, it's absolutely flown by, but still plenty of racing and still plenty of wheel-to-wheel, side-by-side action to come. So I'm looking forward to seeing who is going to be in what position, because in IndyCar races things can change very, very quickly, and especially at ovals, because I was covering a few of them last year, and to be fair, some of the oval racing was definitely great, and we did actually have some excitement and some energetic moments in the middle, of course, of the Palou show that we've got used to in recent time.
Pato O'Ward just mentioned that he just came to pit road, so he's on very fresh tires. He's able to flash his way around David Malukas, but he's off the lead lap, of course. But so we'll see how all of this cycles out, because Pato was the first to pit in the first cycle of green flag stops, and now he was the first to come down pit road here. And he eventually got to the lead being on that cycle. So Rasmussen stayed out so much longer than Pato on that first run. You wonder, Omi, if now that he's fought his way to the lead, if maybe they'll pit that 21 car sooner on this run to try to get more synced up with the strategy of O'Ward and Newgarden and Malukas.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Definitely a possibility and a possible thing that they could definitely go for and do. Time will only tell once again in terms of that on lap 126 out of 250. It is very much a push all the way until the end, as we currently now see the number 21 in.
Yeah, right on cue. We were just talking about it, and indeed, they do bring Rasmussen on pit road here, just past halfway, lap 127 of 250. Can they have a clean stop? It looks like it was clean. Might be a tick slow, but it was a clean stop. So they did bring Rasmussen in sooner this run, and now Newgarden's going to come in. He had assumed the lead, but only momentarily, as now that yellow and white number 2 comes to pit road. They change the 4 tires and get a new windscreen on, and he is away. David Malukas now leads from Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, and Will Power, as we'll wait for this second set of green flag pit stops to cycle through here past the halfway point of the Good Ranchers 250.
Yeah, so it's very much a run through now until the end, and it's going to be now with an oval. Of course, there's still a lot to happen and still a lot to go. Of course, you're getting a lot of the pit stops now at this moment in time, but things can very much change. So the teams and drivers now will be assessing their positions, and then it'll all be about looking at where they are and what can they possibly do to improve it. But yes, busy pit road at the moment.
And David Malukas just exited pit road. Now Scott McLaughlin finishing up service on the number 3. The Thirsty Threes get McLaughlin away. And they rejoin the battle on the track. Christian Lundgaard now currently holds the lead. And this is the group right here. Lundgaard should be on pit road pretty soon, but then it will be Dixon, Armstrong, Ferrucci, and Rosenquist, and they are the ones on the alternate strategy. So once Lundgaard pits, it'll be back to Dixon in front. Meanwhile, Pato O'Ward has come out on the blend after pitting earlier than Rasmussen. O'Ward has gotten back by him. But, as I say that, Rasmussen's right behind him, isn't he, Omi? So Rasmussen with a lap car in the way. I think that was a Dale Coyne car. Couldn't quite tell it was a Dale Coyne car. But Rasmussen has quickly caught up O'Ward. He's trying to pass him. This will eventually be for the lead once the pit stop cycle out. This battle between McLaren and ECR.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all know how it's going to be for that position come later on. So it is very much one that we're closely going to be following and keeping our eye on. And let's see how it will unfold as O'Ward and Rasmussen still reaching now high speeds and running very close to one another.
They've got Santino Ferrucci just in front of them that's running much slower. And here's Rasmussen slicing to the inside through the dogleg alongside O'Ward and alongside Ferrucci as well. And Rasmussen passes both cars in one fluid move. He gets by O'Ward. That will shortly be for the lead, and he gets by the lapped car of Ferrucci. Actually, not the lapped car of Ferrucci. He's running in fourth as we speak. But wow. Christian Rasmussen doing what he's done all day long.
Wow. Fantastic. Absolutely loving this race at the moment. It is proving to be quite exciting and energetic, and you definitely can tell that it is very much IndyCar, and now it is all about seeing as we are still side by side.
Rasmussen tried to squeeze to the outside of Marcus Ericsson out of turn 4. That's where Palou got in trouble earlier, of course, with Rinus VeeKay, but Rasmussen, he fears nothing. Gets around Ericsson off of 4, and now he gets around Marcus Armstrong with an outside move off of turn 2. So, yeah, he is in take no prisoners mode, and actually, look at this, Omi. He's caught up with Scott Dixon. So he's going to pass Scott Dixon on the racetrack before Dixon comes to pit road. Rasmussen gets around him, and that puts Rasmussen in the lead of this race before Dixon and Armstrong even come down pit road. That's how fast this 21 car is right now. And he passes Lundgaard as well.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Passes him at the exact same time, so he's very much on it. And this is what we love. We're just getting surprises and different things coming out of everywhere. So it is turning out to be quite the race here in the circuit of Phoenix, the oval of Phoenix. This is, and right now it has had the energy. And let's continue as we make our way with Rasmussen on board. We're watching from driver's view, if you are synced up with us, to see what he is able to do, and it really shows you from the perspective of how much they are pushing and how much they get really close to the wall, and there's a lot going on. It's not just simply get your foot flat to the floor and drive like some people think in circles. Oh my word, there's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, this has been the allure of IndyCar racing for a long time now, isn't it? You will not see open wheel cars on a track like this and at such a vast schedule like IndyCar runs. You won't see open wheel cars on these tracks anywhere else in the world but in IndyCar. And that's what makes this series so great. And yeah, again, I've been on team more ovals for a long time now because it is just so entertaining. And Christian Rasmussen, a big part of why it's so entertaining. He has already pulled out 3 seconds on Lundgaard. He is now whipping this field. The drivers that he is on the same strategy as, he's 6 seconds ahead of O'Ward. He's 9 seconds ahead of Newgarden. So he's on his way to an Alex Palou type victory here if it stays this way, but still a long ways to go.
Yep. So still a long way to go. Still a lot to happen in terms of, well, for drivers, some positives, And then also, let's just say some things maybe that are to forget, but that's the thrills and spills that you get here in the NTT IndyCar Series.
Christian Lundgaard coming to pit road here. Service for... Oh, and we've got a problem on the racetrack. That's Louis Foster, slow at the top of the racetrack, exiting the dog leg. He cuts to the left. He's going to get that car on the apron. Is a caution going to come out? Yes, it has. Caution is out. And something has gone wrong for Louis Foster, the former Indy Next champion. The car is still rolling, but it's at a snail's pace here, Omi. And the caution has come out. Third full course yellow of the day, and this is going to change everything because the guys on the alternate strategy like Dixon and Armstrong and Ferrucci, they had not yet stopped in this cycle, and this is going to change the complexion of the race here as we get this yellow.
There we go. We were previewing it and mentioning it for so long that something can come out of anywhere. And, you know, some positives, and I also mentioned some negatives, and for Foster, unfortunately, it is a sight that they would not have wanted to see. Of course, making their, well, second season start, now, of course, an Indy Next champion from a couple of years ago, too. Quite the racer, and I know he loves to run his social media side quite highly as well, producing a lot of content for all of the fans, and absolutely everyone cheering him on. But yes, not what the number 45 wanted at this precise moment at Phoenix, and it has led to us being behind the caution now.
He's clearly hit the wall because the right side tires are scraped up. Wonder if he's broken anything inside the race car, but he's clearly hit the wall somewhere, probably off of turn 4 based on where he picked him up, where we picked him up at running so slowly. And yeah, he's coming off of turn 4 and the car just drifted up. And he has scraped the wall pretty good there. And immediately a caution.
Yeah, straight away. The caution thrown as well as the hit into the barrier came. And they're so close to that. So many times. And at that moment, it was, unfortunately, basically nudging it and completely touching it in terms of the barrier. But now the team will get to work, and I mean they will assess and see what they can do. Everyone else regroups. Some of course come down to pit road as well, and then it's all about now resetting and going again, because for most of these drivers they've got a lot to do and a lot to still bring home for them and their team in what is an absolutely chaotic start to the IndyCar season, where rounds come thick and fast, and they go thick and fast as well.
Rasmussen on pit road, all of these lead lap cars on pit road. Oh, but look, Dixon has beaten Rasmussen off the pits. And that's where Ed Carpenter Racing could be at a disadvantage, is on pit road against these powerhouses like Ganassi and Penske. Also, it looked like a very slow stop for Alexander Rossi, another Ed Carpenter Racing team. Malukas exiting pit road. And we'll see how the running order is shaken up through these caution flag pit stops. So we will reset the running order for you as soon as we can here. But Rasmussen will not be the leader. Scott Dixon definitely beat him off of pit road. So ECR, they need to have a clean day on pit road as well. And that was a slow stop there, so at least slower than the Chip Ganassi team for Scott Dixon.
Absolutely. Hello, JB.
Hello, I leave you alone for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Omi, could you just pop into the F3 comp box and
Yep.
see if that's okay? I've even got your audio.
Thank you, thank you. Track audio, yes?
Yes, track audio.
Lovely, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Have a good call, guys, for the remainder of the race.
Yes, you too. Enjoy what will, I'm sure, be a very long night for you.
Oh yes, for IndyCar fans, by the way, both Premers have withdrawn, the ones that were involved in an incident yesterday. So Premer are really struggling, can I just say?
Not surprised. Really not surprised on that front. Shall I give you a break, Matthew, while we're under caution head to Sky and that lot, so you can have a little bit of a breather?
Absolutely.
Sure. Okay, down we go.
20 laps since his last stop. Will Power is behind him, 20 laps on his tyres as well. Then you've got Dixon, Rasmussen, Armstrong, O'Ward, Newgarden, Ferrucci, Rosenqvist and Hauger, they all stopped, well, pretty much the whole field stopped down to Rossi. So it was Rossi trying to beat the pace car out in 15th place. So everyone behind Kirkwood and Power has fresh tyres. So they are going to be hanging on out front. And we'll see what happens in terms of their next stint unfolding. But it's Dixon that leads the rest of the
right
field.
Now we're
so
two on our strategy,
a huge
stroke
of
Dixon.
luck
2 cars staying out. You got
Dixon.
Kirkwood Power out there. They've got 20 laps on their tires. Copy. This is going to be the preferred strategy, right? Yes, this is the preferred.
Well, some pit radio going out at the moment. Bit of chitter-chatter from drivers and teams trying to work out which is the preferred strategy here. But Dixon, that early stop, he has stopped 3 times. Christian Rasmussen has now stopped 4 times and still in 4th. So Rasmussen and ECR on the right tyre, it's proving to be very beneficial. Have to be on the right side of the yellows as well. And hopefully everyone at home can keep up with what is going on, because this is proving to be a fantastic spectacle. This is IndyCar racing at its best. This is the 1 mile short oval that we were hoping it would be here at Phoenix, with the second lane working, the fresh tyres of Razzle Dazzle putting a real show on, but he's going to have plenty of other cars around him now on fresh rubber. And when this field goes green, this is going to be fascinating. 98 laps to go. Don't go anywhere. Impossible to call this.
Vic and Buxton, fueled by Poet. Subscribe to Speed on Fox on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Right, while we're under caution, why don't we take a look at the big move sponsored by Pods? And you know what, folks? It's not just one big move, because they've all been big moves by this man, Christian Rasmussen. Let's just sit back and enjoy. There he is, Christian Rasmussen, 48 passes today. It won't surprise you to know that that is a race high. We are under caution. Kirkwood leads from Power, the only 2 drivers not to have pitted under caution. Andretti rolling the dice for them. They will be on 25-lap old tyres when we roll back to green. Dixon, Rasmussen have lapped cars between them and the race leaders. All of these strategies starting to converge. Georgia, we saw there was a problem for Alexander Rossi.
There was a problem for Alexander Rossi. The left rear did not get attached all the way, so they had to stop, redo it, and attach it.
That's a real shame. He was having a good day as well. Maybe not quite as strong on that high line as his teammate Rasmussen, but it's been a strong weekend all around for ECR.
Yeah, 100 laps to go, though. Watch for Rossi to be super brave on this restart.
Here we go. Time to get ready for the green flag this time, Matthew. And this is going to be a very interesting run to see if Carl Kirkwood could hold off. He's 26 lap old tyres, the same as Will Power. But Dixon behind is on a much fresher tyre strategy from 8 laps ago. This is going to be quite the margin as we get going racing.
And Dixon is very much in the game now that he's back on the same strategy as guys like Rasmussen, O'Ward, Newgarden, and so on. So here comes the field into the restart zone. Green flag up in the air. Just under 100 laps to go at Phoenix. Watch Scott Dixon in 3rd and Christian Rasmussen in 4th. How quickly can Rasmussen get through Dixon? He's going to try in the very first corner. Down the inside. Christian Rasmussen, wheel to wheel, drifts up. Dixon keeps his foot in and around the outside. Holds on to that spot ahead of Rasmussen. And now will set his sights on Will Power, but Christian Rasmussen isn't going to quit now.
Perfect restart then coming through. Rasmussen's, you can see he's already on the hybrid Power as Dixon tries to look up high. Dixon touching the wall, coming into turn 3 as well. And that's going to give the low line Power just holding off. Here comes Rasmussen. He's got such a launch. He's going down low. You can see Dixon trying to get the energy, but it's not there. Rasmussen side by side through 3. Dixon highlining through 4. Nearly into the barrier again over the line. They nearly touch.
They did touch the right front of Rasmussen to the left rear of Dixon. Dixon holds on to the spot. This is allowing Kirkwood and Power to just get a few laps on these tires and step away. But Rasmussen cannot find his way around Dixon. And now Rasmussen may have just gotten passed by Marcus Armstrong. Nope, not yet. He has fallen into the clutches of Armstrong. But now Dixon soars up to the back of Will Power here, JB. Oh my goodness, how things have changed with that caution.
It really has too. This is an amazingly timed caution period with 91 to go. We're riding now with Scott Dixon running in P3 with Rasmussen just behind. Look at him, he's looking in the mirror, looking at every opportunity. He's trying to catch up with Power. So I'm surprised actually, Matthew, that the tyre age of Kirkwood and Power didn't do much for Dixon.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that. I am very surprised that they weren't able to just fly around those two Andretti cars right ahead of them. But that's great news for Kirkwood and for Power. How long has it been since they last stopped here? It's been 33 laps, so they have, what is that? About 15 green flag laps on their tires, more than Dixon and Rasmussen, so that's not a huge amount. But these also haven't been the fastest cars all weekend long either, so I thought Dixon and Rasmussen would get by them pretty easily. That has not happened. Armstrong is held tough in 5th, though Ward and Newgarden stayed in their positions as well, 6th and 7th. Malukas mired back in 10th. Not as much movement on that restart as I thought there would be.
No, indeed, as Newgarden now holding back Ferrucci.
Wow!
He got a massive opposite lock, and that allows Gray and Rahal to sling back through on the inside for 8th position. Malukas now coming through as well. So 2 places lost already for Santino. That was quite a lot.
That would have been an enormous impact with the wall had he not been able to pick that one up. What an all-American save that was from Santino Ferrucci. Hope he's caught his breath, because he's right back at the scene of where it almost came apart.
Wonderful action, wonderful battles. That's what this is all about here tonight. Just bring the action zones into just brilliant runs. I'm loving. Let's have a little look at it actually, shall we? Just gets a massive opposite lock. And I'll tell you one thing about Phoenix. The grip seems to be that the drivers can save slides like this. That's the 3rd time we've seen a slide like that. 3rd time we've seen it saved.
Oh, wow, tremendous save. Lost 2 positions, but saved the race car. Meanwhile, back towards the front, Rasmussen has loaded up another run after Dixon. He's let the tires get into a good spot, and now he's coming back after Dixon here. But Kirkwood has separated himself from Power by a second, then it's another second back to Dixon and Rasmussen.
Back with us on Fox if you're listening to us on the world feed. Or they're leaving Fox. Leaving Fox as Tom Gatemore takes over there. Dixon just reeling him in. The gap now, what is this between him and Power? Well, it's 0.82 seconds. Gap between Dixon and Rasmussen, 0.4 of a second. Rasmussen taking the extreme tight line. And Phoenix always confuses me since they changed the start zone here, Matthew, as well, because there's actually now technically 5 turns on a 4-turn oval. It's weird.
Yeah, the dog leg certainly makes it different. Many different reconfigurations of this track since it first opened. But yes, this is with the big grandstand through turns 3 and 4 and down the front stretch. Rasmussen still just poking and prodding around, trying to find an opening here against Dixon. It's the first time we've seen these two race each other on the same tire cycle. Rasmussen is low this time in 1 and 2. Dixon faded up a groove, and he's gotten a great run off of turn 2, has Dixon. And he's pulled away from Rasmussen down the back straightaway, so maybe Rasmussen, who's clearly been the dominant force of this race, Dixon has, he's got some competition now in this 9 car, no doubt about it.
He's really pushing like crazy now, isn't it? Come on, this is what we like to see, though. Dixon being charged at an oval. Of course, it was Texas all those years ago after COVID where he took an electric start to the championship, and he's wanted ever since then to sort of grasp back to that mentality. But he's going to have to fight the limitations of age, which is a scary thing to say in front of Scott Dixon, isn't it? But he's getting older, but he's not getting any slower, is he?
No, he's not. He's still showing an amazing amount of quality for a driver that's been around for such a long time. One of only 2 prior Phoenix winners in this field. He won here back in 2016. Joseph Newgard and the other prior winner here in the field today, winning in the last IndyCar race at Phoenix in 2018 before today. But just biding his time here behind those Andretti cars, isn't he? Because I'm going to guess, well, everybody's got to make another pit stop here. So I wonder if Scott Dixon is just biding his time and not wanting to push the envelope against those Andrettis ahead of him.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to push at the moment. So he knows that ahead, Kirkwood and Power would have to stop again soon for fuel and tyres. So he is just playing this game of hoping he can... Well, he's the net leader. So he's just holding Rasmussen back as long as he possibly can. You're right. Rasmussen is going for the net lead of the race, and he's not stopping. He's got a great lunge out of turn 2. Down the back, straight towards 3-4 on the dogleg. He pulls down low, coming into 3, and Rasmussen takes Dixon in a straight. Dixon was completely lost on power, and Rasmussen decided to turn it to 11.
Well, Rasmussen doing what he's done all day long and just pounding that car to the inside and making another pass. So up to 3rd, and now the leader among the drivers that's on strategy A, if you will. And then you have strategy B just ahead with Kirkwood and Power.
Who was in the Fox booth? Because I swear I can hear Joey Logano.
Yeah,
no, it's Kevin Harvick. It's Kevin Harvick in there.
So you have Buxton up there with Hinchcliffe and Townsend, and then Joey Logano, at least earlier, was up there. I don't know if they've switched him out for Harvick, but Jolo was up there.
I thought he was. I thought I could hear him. Still pushing in now. We're riding on board with Christian Rasmussen. Are we? Or are we on board with Will Power? It's Will Power on board with. Seriously, add the names to the heads-up display. For God's sake, it's driving up the wall.
Yes.
They change liveries every week. I only knew that was Will Power because of the TWG logo on the side. There it is, just at the bottom
there. There it is again. Yep.
Just want to scream at some point, don't you? 2 retirements already. Alex Palou out of the race. Romain Grosjean out of the race. Grosjean not even starting, I should say. Did he, Matthew? Just non-starter for Dale Coyne today.
Yeah, a shame for Grosjean to have a day. Well, and Dale Coyne as a whole had such a great weekend last weekend. It's gone the other way on the short oval this weekend. You thought it would for Hauger, most certainly, but hasn't gone well for Grosjean either. Oh, here's Rasmussen going after Power. He's going to have a look, and he's going to have more of a look going into turn 1. He's just blasted around him down the inside. Rasmussen up to 2nd.
Good move. Good lunge on the inside, and I thought there was going to be a little bit of a weird one there.
Just love watching him. Yeah, what a talent. What an absolute talent. Now, can he make up the 1 second between himself and Kyle Kirkwood? 2 drivers, actually, as I look at it here, JB, that is the top 5 runners all started outside the top 10 in this race. Kyle Kirkwood started 11th, Rasmussen 18th, Power 23rd, and Dixon 15th, and Armstrong 13th.
Wow.
Don't tell me you can't pass in these cars on ovals.
No, you can. You really, really can. And I mean, I'm going to slightly miss the DW12 chassis. I mean, it's gone through so many different facelifts, hasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
But we're ready for a new car now, and I think we need to have one where we can have just a little bit more acceleration and a little bit more power. Willpower, if you will.
Yeah, very good. And worth mentioning, Rasmussen made that pass on Dixon and Power, and Dixon has not even gotten close to Power, has he? Still 1.2 seconds behind Power, so Rasmussen once again. It does feel like if this race stays green to the finish, it's going to be really hard for anyone to beat Rasmussen. But if we do get a caution and we get more caution flag pit stops, that Ed Carpenter pit crew just isn't up to snuff compared to the Andretti's and the Ganassis and the Penskes. And if there are late cautions and late pit stops under yellow, JB, they could lose it on pit road for Christian.
Yeah. Just a quick question as well. Someone's asked, why didn't Romain Grosjean start in this race today?
That's a good question, because he was not one that crashed. He did not have a crash like we saw with Rosenqvist and Power on the weekend. So just...
I'm having a look. No, it didn't say. No, nothing. Do not know why Romain Grosjean did not start today's race.
Here we go. So apparently it was an issue with the engine.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, Fox has had a difficult day trying to cover this race, and we saw nothing other than he just didn't make the start.
Admittedly, I don't think I don't think Fox also are. How do I put this, Matthew? They're not exactly on their own backs today, are they?
Alexander Rossi just came down pit road, and he has come out in between the leaders Kirkwood and his teammate Rasmussen. I'd like to think that Rossi would make it easy for Rasmussen to get by him, wouldn't you, JB? This is a chance for Christian to get by him right here in turn one. But no, Rossi keeps his foot in it, and actually he's going to roar around the outside and pass Kirkwood. Wow.
Go again. And that's what we like to see about this. All sorts of mayhem and drama. God, I like this racing action.
Yeah.
It's just something, it's just so much more fun and energy that we like to see about it.
Well, we've needed more ovals on the IndyCar schedule for a while, and hopefully they won't quit at just getting Phoenix back. Hopefully they'll go more as David Malukas comes to pit road now. And here's Rasmussen in 3 and 4. He's testing the outside. He's way high, trying to get around Kirkwood. Just talked about what could happen on pit road with the ECR team, JB, and being that they have a pit crew that is not up to par with the other major teams, Rasmussen, before it's time to pit, does need to get to the lead and try to pull as big of a lead as he can, and he's going to try again in 3 and 4.
He's going to be pushing as hard as he can. Let's take more information from those.
No fuel concern. They're just going to push as hard as they can.
Oh, Ward out ahead of
man! No, look at this from the outside. We're seeing more runners and runners. That's the 27 going wide.
And Rasmussen gets through. So he does make the pass on Kirkwood in turn one. He tried to, he did that fake again, Rasmussen. We saw him do it on Pato O'Ward earlier, where he faked inside, went outside, and he's faked out Kirkwood, and Rasmussen back to the lead. Kirkwood, I think, is going to come to pit road this lap. He is. He's on strategy B, and Kirkwood's going to pit here with just under 60 laps to go. Final pit stop for Kyle Kirkwood.
Go down pit road.
Lower pit limit.
It makes sense. 58 laps to go. He went over 60 on this set here.
But Rasmussen leads once again. Georgia, Kyle Kirkwood's coming down to you.
Kyle Kirkwood on pit lane. Brian Hurta told me that today was the most confident he's ever seen Kyle for an oval. He got his win on an oval, first win on an oval last year, 2025 at Gateway. Took 4 Firestones down and away.
Who made up the most positions that way in that day in Gateway? It was Christian Rasmussen, 25th to...
Yeah, Gateway is a perfect example as well, Matthew, isn't it, of how good this racing action's been recently.
Yeah, Rasmussen pitting this lap from the lead. They need a good stop here.
Jack.
He's flying. He's doing things that we can't see anybody else making right now. Overall, this looks like a really smooth, clean start for everyone at ECR. Kevin.
Marcus Armstrong stays on a little bit longer than most. He makes his final stop well inside the window here. Takes a little bit longer than they wanted, and he takes an extra couple of seconds, and they're going to lose some track position.
Yeah, rear right did not want to go on there, Matthew, at all.
And it wasn't the smoothest on the right front for Rasmussen. They didn't lose a ton of time, but it wasn't the cleanest. Dennis Hauger has taken the lead, but now will come to pit road for Dale Coyne. And we'll see how everything has cycled out through the pit stop cycle. Who is where will be the question.
Oh, and down the pit lane also now coming in the 19 of Dennis Hauger, Kevin Simpson in pit road as well. Jamie Little is standing by for all the action as we now ride on board with the other Andretti. This is going to be, which one is this?
I think this is Ericsson, perhaps. No, I beg your pardon. This is Kirkwood.
Trying to find the inside, and he's gone through on the 77 of Stingray Rob.
Oh, and Rasmussen right behind him. Wow, and twitching. Whoa, wow, Rasmussen fighting that wheel because he had a car to his outside and he was right behind Kirkwood. So Rasmussen has lost positions on pit road again. That Ed Carpenter Racing pit crew just cannot hold serve on pit road, JB, and Power, Award, and Kirkwood have all gotten ahead of him.
Still looking on the inside. This is going to be battle with 53 laps to go of this race. How much have you got inside?
Power has cycled to the lead, yes. So they had a magnificent pit stop on the 26, and Power has not only shot to the lead through that cycle of stops, but he's opened it up on Pato Award by about 2 seconds, more than 2 seconds. So it's going to be Power, Award, Kirkwood, then Rasmussen. So Christian Rasmussen again, JB, losing a lot of time on pit road. They just can't hold serve in the pits today.
No, so it's still down to Rasmussen when he's out there on the circuit to try and capitalise on time back, and that's the hard part of this all, to try and get going. And poor Christian, he's going to have to push.
Power trying to get around the lapped car of Renus VK. Wow, and not leaving a lot of room for error going around the outside of VK. But Power is through, and we now start the 200th lap of this 250-lap race. Rasmussen is just past Kirkwood, so that puts Rasmussen up into the third position as he gets by Kyle Kirkwood. He is 1.6 seconds behind Will Power, the leader. He is not too far at all behind Award, as Power lunges up on Mick Schumacher coming off turn 4 with 50 laps to go.
And here he comes, Power, going way up to the barrier, taking so much risk in order to try and lap Schumacher. Now, that was not the wisest decision to do. That puts his car in an unnecessary risk, and you already saw the accident he had in qualifying through a similar high line at turn 3.
And Rasmussen has just passed Award now. So, golly, he's wasted no time getting up to second, and he's making up all of that lost time on pit road up. Look at this, JB. He is flying through turns 1 and 2, reeling in Will Power. He's only 5 car lengths behind him. He has made up 2.5 seconds in the blink of an eye.
Rasmussen on the back as he comes through turn 1 at the dog leg. Down low, he's already harvesting. You can see it's a great track, Phoenix, for harvesting that hybrid power, because as soon as you lift off, the battery starts recharging itself, and then you bang straight back on. And again, this Ed Carpenter Racing, they only basically want to tune good cars for ovals. It's an oval expert running the team. Yep. Of course they're going to be good. He's all over the back of Will Power. This feels very personal here tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Ed Carpenter Racing. We talked about it earlier. Ed Carpenter is an oval master. He always has been. He knows how to set these cars up. But now Rasmussen has caught him. Power's going to do everything in his power to defend, put dirty air on the front wing of that 21 car. These two have about 2.5, 2 3/4 seconds on Pato Award. So this is a private battle for the lead. And Rasmussen again loads it up around the outside of 1 and 2 in the slipstream of Power down the back into 3. He doesn't have a move here.
Still can't, but goes up high. Rasmussen ever so slightly. Gets a good run through the dog leg, and Power looks so slow.
Here he comes!
He's through!
Yep.
Rasmussen wheel to wheel, he's losing him after he's just twisting, and Power stays ahead.
Gosh. That is so sketchy, but it is so good. So brave from Christian Rasmussen, who's going to dive it into 3, and he's going to let it fade up off the top of turn 4 and try to get this run through the dogleg again and go into turn 1. Can he do it this time? Right underneath the rear wing of Power into turn 1 for the lead at Phoenix. How close is it going to get? Power tries to squeeze him. He does squeeze him. Rasmussen in the wall.
Power's got problems!
Oh, he's got a flat tire! He's got a flat right rear tire, Will Power!
Caution's out! Caution's coming out! There's too much on the circuit! The yellows are out! So, Is Rasmussen going to get away with that? Well, willpower again. That's all on him. Why did he block so much?
Yeah, that nothing Christian could do. That is all on willpower right there. He squeezed him. He elbowed him completely out of room and into the wall. So Power limping back to pit road. But how much damage does Christian Rasmussen have? Because he hit that wall pretty damn hard, JB.
Yeah, here we go again. So coming up high, Rasmussen gets the toe.
So back we go the other way. 13-12, the LSU lead. Here's Latson. Latson spinning. Latson in trouble. Poke foul on LSU. LSU bench wanted to travel. They didn't get it. First free throw for Latson is good. Another one coming. Latson, an 80% free throw shooter on the year. Makes the second as well, does the Miami native. South Carolina now leads by a score of 14-13. LSU three-point attempt, no good, but good job by Flau'jae Johnson chasing it down. Johnson on the move. Johnson attacks, misses. Rebound, South Carolina with Edwards. Up ahead, it's Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson now over to Latson. Latson with 19 to shoot. Latson back to McDaniel. Now Latson on the right wing. Looks for help. Has McDaniel. McDaniel, couple of steps. Now Latson, 10 to shoot. Raven Johnson, timer at 8. Raven Johnson for 3. It's good. Straightaway 3 with a shot clock winding down for Raven Johnson. And South Carolina's lead is now at 4. Flau'jae Johnson the other way and lays it in. Boy, she is some kind of player. She can beat you with that Euro and that first step and that next step too. Shifty as can be. Latson. Turnaround. Good for Latson. So 2 more for her. And a 19-15 game. South Carolina leading less than 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Richard with the basketball. Richard on a drive. No good. Richard does get it back, though. 90 seconds to play in the first. Here is Wiley. Wiley nearly had it stolen. Wiley, 4 seconds left with 3. 2 seconds. Wiley's got to put it up with 1. Fires. No, off the top of the rim. Shot clock violation. The fact that it's Wiley and she's a little upset with Amia Joyner right now. Oh, boy. Oh, we thought we would see some... Wow. Well, we thought we would see some tempers in this game and some emotion. I didn't think we would see it with 2 players on the same team. But Amia Joyner was none pleased. Or Malaysia Wiley was none pleased. And that looked like more than just a serious disagreement. Boy, you don't want to have that when you're playing South Carolina. Talk about a mental advantage a team already has on you, and that's not helping the cause. Into the final minute of the quarter. Tessa Johnson. Pass is picked off by Wiley. Wiley. Bounce pass. Too strong for Williams. And another LSU turnover. Maddie McDaniel for South Carolina. McDaniel drives, now finds McKeer. McKeer, like an offensive foul. They didn't call it. McDaniel drives in traffic. No extra pass. Edwards, though. And Edwards puts it in. 2 for Joyce Edwards. Inside of 30 seconds to go. Flau'jae Johnson now on the left wing. Now it's Richard, 14 seconds to go in the first quarter. Richard still has it, being guarded very closely by a McKeer. 6 seconds. Richard with 4. Richard with 3. Attacks. Richard lays it in. And that's how the first quarter will end. Jada Richard doing it all by herself. We've played 10 minutes in Greenville. Good one here so far. Carolina 21, LSU 17. It's the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament Watchalong. (21-17) South Carolina with the edge after 10 minutes of play in this SEC Women's semifinal. Raven Johnson 7, Tanaya Latson 10. 4 points tied for LSU's largest first quarter deficit this year. Latson's first 10-point quarter since January 25th. 4-point South Carolina lead. McDaniel, now it's Edwards, lost it over to Latson. Latson on a drive, missed off the front rim. And then Williams touched it out of bounds. .9:37 to play. Here's Flau'jae Johnson at the left wing, on the left wing. Johnson, kick out, Richard. Richard off the glass, 2-point game. .9:17 to go. Tessa Johnson now back to Edwards. Latson, Tessa Johnson, 10-footer off the mark. Rebound, LSU, Williams. Williams spinning and scoring. Michaela Williams with 2 points. And this game now tied at 21. Early second quarter action here. Edwards on the attack and a foul called on LSU. Kim Mulkey. Wow, that was a hard keister slap at Michaela Williams as she came back to the bench a moment ago. Double in 3 of the last 4 games, Williams. Ever just 1 in her first 98 games. Free throw, no good. (22-21) to lead for South Carolina over LSU. Richard for Wiley. For Wiley, nice take to the basket for Wiley, and LSU takes the lead. 6 points for Wiley. Now a 3 for McKeer. That one did not go. Edwards chased the rebound, couldn't grab it. LSU now goes the other way. Richard has the basketball. Now over to Williams. Williams, 16 on the timer. Williams looks for help, gets it in the form of Johnson. Flau'jae Johnson's left wing 3. That's off the mark. Good rebound, Michaela Williams or Zakiya Johnson, but she traveled. Picked up the foot. So it goes back to South Carolina. Again, the first 2 semifinals in the SEC. Texas and Mississippi will play the other game, the championship game, tomorrow afternoon in Greenville. Another fun weekend of SEC women's basketball in Greenville. Even if I'm sure the atmospheres were good, even if yesterday's games weren't particularly exciting. And there's another South Carolina turnover. Here's for Wiley, who lays it in. And LSU up by 3, and for Wiley feeling it against her former team, the 6th Woman of the Year of the Southeastern Conference. Edwards, Johnson, McKeer. McKeer flips it to McDaniel. Raven Johnson, top of the key. Now over to Edwards. Back to Raven Johnson. 5 to shoot. 3 ball. Good. Nothing but net for Raven Johnson. That 3 evens the game at 25 apiece. Good one in Greenville. Richard to the right wing. 19 to shoot. Richard now over to Williams. Williams. Inside to Zakiya Johnson. No good. Rebound Carolina. Gamecocks push forward. Edwards missed off the front of the rim. Here's for Wiley. For Wiley the other way. Misses the layup. No good, but a foul on South Carolina. So for Wiley at the line, Columbia, South Carolina native, went to Keenan High School. 76% free throw shooter. First free throw, good. Second free throw is also good. LSU up by a deuce. Raven Johnson on the left wing. Lob. Edwards. Did she save it? No, she did not. Another South Carolina turnover. Dawn Staley gives her a look as if to say, it's not great, but hang in there. We'll get this righted. Dawn would be right to think that. Anytime they do have it, the slightest bit of adversity, they usually do bounce back. They usually do have a counterpunch. Richard to Knox. Now it's for Wiley. And for Wiley lays it in. She's got 12, but the LSU lead is at 4. Raven Johnson. Now going inside. Latson missing, but a foul. Wiley has already doubled her point tally from when these teams met in February as another missed South Carolina free throw. Second free throw is good, 29-26. So for Wiley to inbound for LSU. Sixth woman of the year gets it back, inbounds it now, and now takes it across midcourt. Richard left wing back to Fawali. She is feeling it. That was a bit of a heat check there, no good. Koval got the rebound though. Fawali tries again, missed again. Rebound Williams. Fawali thought about it again, then give it to Richard. She'll pull. That one missed off the heel. Rebound Okot. Now it is Raven Johnson for South Carolina. Latson, no. Rebound Koval, and goes out, then lost it out of bounds. So 4:53 to play in the second, and Malaysia Fawali looking to make a statement in this tournament against her former team. She and LSU look good so far. They're looking to end 14 years of disappointment in this series. They're up 3 in the second. 29-26 lead for LSU with 4:53 to play in the second. Coming up at halftime, scores from across the country on a busy day of women's and men's tournament action. Malaysia for Wiley with 12 points. Lead LSU, Tanaya Latson now leading South Carolina with 11. Into Richard. As LSU has it in those purple uniforms. Here's Wiley on the left wing. Wiley over to Richard on the right wing. Richard. Now on the move. 12 to shoot. Now it is Wiley. Wiley over to Flau'jae Johnson. Now over to Michaela Williams. Williams' jump shot is in and out. Flau'jae Johnson had the rebound briefly and up ahead to Edwards. Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson with it now for South Carolina. Latson. Now it's Raven Johnson. Long two. Short off the front iron. Here comes LSU. Richard for Wiley. Tried too hard on that one. Pass picked off Edwards. Edwards now running at breakneck speed. Tessa Johnson for three. We're tied at 29. In the corner, Tessa Johnson knocks down the triple. 29 all. Flau'jae Johnson, jumper just inside the paint. And the shot no good. Rebound, South Carolina. Tessa Johnson, offensive foul. Looked out of control on Koval, and the referees thought so as well. So up the floor, LSU now has it. Richard now gets it to Flau'jae Johnson on the left wing. Koval now trying to work. And traveled. So a traveling violation, and it gives the ball right back to South Carolina. Kim Mulkey and Dawn Staley both feverishly coaching their teams and trying to get the best out of them. Now here's Okot. Now to Tessa. Tessa Johnson for three. It's good. Much to the chagrin of a sharp-dressed Mike the Tiger who just came into the building. 32-29 Gamecocks. Williams cross court to Flau'jae Johnson. In and out. Williams got the rebound, though. Williams jump shot good. It's a two. LSU within one. High-level basketball in Greenville as we expected with these two teams. Latson to Edwards. Kick out. Raven Johnson all alone. Has she got another three? Not this time. And Joyner skies for the rebound. Here's Wiley. Watch out. Misses the layup, though. Carolina the other way with Johnson. Raven, that is. Johnson of the Raven variety. Okot missed the bunny. Latson's put back is good. Good job inside by Latson, and it's a three-point Gamecock lead. Wiley now over to Flau'jae Johnson. Now back to Richard. Richard now over to Johnson. Pass inside. That's Joyner. That's two more. 1:28 to play. And we're going to have a timeout here, I believe. So a timeout taken. Raven Johnson for LSU with the basketball. 15 to shoot. Johnson missed. Rebounded by Joyner as we come out of the timeout. Now for Wiley. Oh, nice Euro step. Bella Hines into the game. For Wiley for three. Makes another one. LSU back to the lead as we near a minute to play in the second. Malaysia for Wiley in a 2-point LSU lead. Here's South Carolina driving inside. Off the mark, the shot from Latson, no, out of bounds. And it's going to be LSU basketball. Here's Richard. Joyner. Inside, and Joyner's got two more. 38-34 lead for Louisiana State. Joyner, 5 points and 7 rebounds. One second difference between game and shot clock. Edwards left block. Great pass to find a cutting Tessa Johnson. 2-point game, 5 seconds left. Down to 4. Richard with 2. Richard with 1. Pass. Joyner at the buzzer. Yes! Great pass to find Joyner. Joyner lays it in. Count the bucket. And LSU goes into the locker room with a 4-point lead. Kim Mulkey's Tigers were very much in the first game. Coulda, woulda, shoulda won the first one. They're looking to win in what you could say is a virtual road game. They're halfway there. Can they live and breathe on that prayer? 40-36, they lead. Halftime scores from across the Glen on the flip side. This is Women's College Basketball Watch-Along. Well, it's been since 2012. A lot of things have happened. Okay, let's reset. A lot of things happening. All right, can we reset again? All right, 3, 2, 1. Well, 2012, a lot of things happened back then in the year 2012, January 2012. We were about, let's see, we were roughly 9 months away from Barack Obama winning election to a second term as the president of these United States. Also, the winner of the Summer Olympics were still yet to be happening in London. Kentucky was on its way to a men's basketball championship, and Kim Mulkey won a women's championship at Baylor with a 40-0 team. Also, it's the last time LSU beat South Carolina. Could that be changing today, though? Tigers lead at 40-36 at halftime. And what more can you say about the performance of one Malaysia Fawiley? She has been in her bag as we get ready to go. So, let's fire up the scoreboard, everybody. Halftime scores. Again, we will give you a full Monty, if you will. We can do this for women's basketball. Let's start in the Big East. UConn, 31-0, opened up their conference tournament play today. And you could probably take a wild guess as to how they played against 14-16 Georgetown. It was a squeaker. 84-39. The Huskies rolled past the Hoyas in that game. Although I'm sure Gino will find something to be mad about. UConn was outscored by 2 in the fourth quarter. What a terrible team. Get them out of that number 1 ranking. Next for UConn will be 16-14 Creighton in the semifinals. They won today's second quarter of that Big East tournament. A 57-44 triumph over Marquette in that one. That's what happened in there. The 2 night quarterfinals, Providence will take on Villanova, and then St. John's against Seton Hall. Hold that thought.